Hi parents, welcome to this special edition in Amasha Blog channel. So you know that my channel is about conscious parenting and I am so excited for this special session. Okay, so I'm not just going to speak too much. Okay, so as you can see on my left or on my right, there's a special guest who is just here for us to give us all the tips, all the tricks. To tell us those things that our parents were too shy to talk about. That is period and puberty talks. Okay, so today's edition, as you have already guessed, we are talking about periods. Yeah. We're talking about female stuff. So the males are welcome as well. So we're talking about periods, we're talking about puberty. Okay, so this concerns everyone, the teens as well as the parents. So we are all concerned about this, and there is no other better person that I would have invited for this occasion than the most beautiful Celine Clemens. Hi,
Thank you
Mom.
so much. Hi, how are you? How are you? Good evening. How are you
I'm
today?
fine, thank you. It's such a
Okay.
privilege to have you in this special edition.
The
So
pleasure
I'm
is
going to
mine.
introduce her. Okay, so she is a menstrual justice advocate. She talks about menstrual health, okay, and equally puberty, reusable pads, and period poverty. So she's going to talk more on that. And over to you. Let her be the one to speak. Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ma, for making this event possible. Thanks, and thanks to all of you for being here, for joining so we can keep the conversation about this very important topic going. A conversation so many still don't want to have with their children, with their beloved ones, and yet the latter, especially those of them who are going through this important moment of their life called puberty, crave to know what is happening to their bodies. Indeed, puberty is an exciting but difficult and complex time, not only for the youngster going through it, but also for the parents as well. Even though our culture surrounds us with sexual images, even sexualizing young children to sell product, we are still often uncomfortable when it comes to discussing this important topic, which is puberty and sexuality with our own children, especially now that girls and boys are starting to develop at younger ages than in the past. While times are changing, there is still stigma and taboo surrounding conversation about periods. And the only way to make real radical change is to involve everyone in the conversation so they can understand this bodily function. I am very grateful for the men who have joined. Indeed, every time that we have this kind of workshop, we always invite our men, our husbands, our children, our sons to join because we believe it is very important to normalize and educate boys about periods. When we don't do that, we are actively limiting the understanding of this normal bodily function. Talking to boys and non-menstruator about this very important topic about period is important for several reasons. I'm just going to give a few ones. It can help break down gender stereotype and promote gender equality. They can learn that menstruation is a natural bodily function and not something to be ashamed of or stigmatize. It can encourage empathy and understanding. By understanding that what menstruation is and how it affects those who are going through, boys can develop empathy and understanding towards their female peers, their family members, and their friends. And this can also help reduce stigma and discrimination associated with menstruation. By talking and educating boys and non-menstruators about the period, this can help reduce period poverty. Also, when boys and non-menstruators are educated about period, they can become advocates for better access to period product in their families, in schools, and in their communities. This can help to reduce period poverty and ensure that everyone who menstruates has access to the product that they need to effectively and safely manage this natural fluid. And by period poverty, I'm talking about the struggle that so many women and girls experience every month when they hit puberty to get the tools and the information that they need to effectively and safely manage that natural and monthly fluid. We have gone to the moon and back. We are using artificial intelligence today to do so many and incredible things, but we have failed to end period poverty. We have failed to equip our children with the tools that they need to effectively and safely manage the fluid, the menstrual cycle, and understand how the menstrual cycle works. Of course, things are being done. We cannot say that things are not being done. So many things are being done now. We can now talk publicly about this fluid. Our discourse is gaining entry to government agenda, to the United Nations, and to many other forums out there. And the voice of millions of menstruators who are struggling every month to manage their period is being heard. But a lot is still to be done. We have experienced progress. That is good, and it is good to talk about it. But we still have a very long way to go. In schools and public venues, in workplaces, they are offering free period product. In some countries around the world, I don't know whether in my country they are doing it. I learned that they were doing it in my country, which is a good thing. If they are doing it, it is very good, and I want to encourage and I would like us to continue working so hard so that in all the schools in Cameroon, teenagers can access period product when they need it. In many other countries, and I'm still talking about the progress that we have made in this field, in many countries around the world, period products aren't taxed anymore because they have realized that this blood isn't a choice, because you don't choose to have, you don't just decide that now I'm going to have my period, or the next month I'm going to wait until after 2 or 3 months I'm going to get my period. No, it is just something normal. You don't choose. When that time of the month comes, you just bleed. They have understood that, and they are making some efforts to remove the tax that stores were paying, customers are paying when they are buying those the important product. In many other countries around the world, structures are being opened to cater to the specific needs of menstruators, and conditions like endometriosis have been recognized, and efforts are being done to offer the persons who are suffering from that condition the specific need that they request. And this, we can call it progress, and it is progress. But period poverty will be history, if we keep the conversation going on publicly, but also at home with our children, our son, with everyone around us. Because information is power. Power to do better, power to correct what is not okay, power to deconstruct, and power to debunk all the taboos that still surround periods. Power to take good care of our bodies, because we know it better. Power to take good care of our periods because we know what it is, what is happening to our bodies, and what to do or not to do when we are having our period. And power to make informed decisions, because when you know what to do, you do it better. Power to build a safe, confident, and positive relationship with not only with our bodies, but with this period that we are having every month when we hit puberty. Power to help other menstruators and teens who are struggling every month, doubting, without knowing what is happening to their bodies, and who crave information to know what to do. All this can only happen if we are equipped. We, parents, tutors, educators, community leaders, with the adequate tools, because you can't fix what you don't know. We are talking about puberty and the changes it comes with. We want the transition of our children from childhood to adulthood to be comfortable, even a smooth, a joyous time. But if we aren't prepared, if our children are not prepared, this won't happen. We won't be able to provide them with all the necessary information that they need in a very frank and straightforward manner. My daughter must have 9 or 10 years when it all starts. I want to share some information about my personal experience with you. And I will talk about my daughter, what happened when she hit puberty. So she must have been 9 or 10 years when it all started. Her introduction to the cruel games young girls play with one another, it started at that time. She would arrive home very sad and would go to her room, lock the door, and stay there for hours, only coming out after many calls from her dad. I didn't know what to say. I didn't understand what was going on with her, what was happening to her. And whenever I asked, she would cry her eyes out. Later on, I discovered in her diary that she was in tears because she couldn't understand why her mom couldn't understand what was going on with her, the changes that was happening to her. Before these confusing times, my daughter was a very, very happy child, a very happy and active child. She loved to sleep over and to do many types of activities with her friends. But with this new situation that was happening, all that was over. I thought we had given our children, my son and my daughter, all the necessary information that they needed. And we didn't expect what was happening to happen. It was happening. Clearly something was missing. We didn't know what was missing, but something was missing. I kept trying to know the why of this change in her attitude, and then one day she told me that she had her period. In the meantime, my son was also going through this phenomenon. Boys hit puberty later than girls. My son will wake up in the morning, sit in front of the TV for the whole day, daydreaming, and get very upset when we question this behavior and his poor academic score. The physical and psychological changes were there, but for some reason, I don't know, I couldn't link it to the puberty. I then realized that I hadn't given my daughter and my son all the information I thought I had. I hadn't told my daughter and my son about puberty, about menstruation and the many changes that would take place in their bodies over the next few years. We had talked about sexuality, about birth, but we hadn't really sat down our children and discussed this very critical topic with them. It was then time to do that. But why didn't us discuss that important topic with our children? I say our children because I believe that boys too should be involved in this kind of conversation because it's very important. They will have they have sisters, they have cousins, they have girlfriends, and they will have daughters, they will have the wives. So it is important that they understand what is going on, why people who are menstruating are behaving the way they behave, because there is a lot of things that people who menstruate experience when they are having their period. And most of the time, if you don't understand why they are behaving the way they are behaving, then you will be very confused. So I wanted my son to be there when we all talked about this important topic. So I asked myself, what prevented us from discussing the topic with our children? And after searching my soul, I realized that the culprit might be the taboo that has always surrounded this menstruation. Throughout history, in culture after culture, menstruation has been a taboo subject. Many things have been said. One must not eat the food cooked by a menstruating woman. One must not touch object that she has touched. One must not have sex with her or look into her eyes. Things have been said. Of course, we no longer believe in this superstition and false belief, but menstrual taboo is still alive and well. The taboo that silences us and makes us to avoid discussion of the topic and to meticulously hide our bloody pad and tampons because we don't want people to see our blood. Because when we were growing up, people thought of menstruation as something unclean and unmentionable, something to be hidden. We didn't want people to know it, to see it. Something dangerous, impure, a pollution. People thought that and were taught that. We heard it, we saw it, we read it, and we still hear it, and we even contribute to spreading those beliefs in this 21st century. A few years ago, I was living in Spain at that time, and landlord told me that if I shower when I have my period, I will die. And he was very serious when he was saying that. And 2 weeks ago, here in the village where I am right now, during a workshop that I organized with teens, a young girl told me that she can't go to a chili farm, or climb on a tree when she has her period. And when I wanted to know why, she told me that is what they say. They told her at home, and she makes sure that it doesn't happen, and she also shared the information with her friends. She believes that and makes sure that the information also is outside. And this is 2023. We are not in the ancient times. This is 2023. The Bible and the Quran mention this menstrual taboo too. Philosophers, psychologists, historians, anthropologists too. They all say that our menstruation is impure. It is a threat, and we must stay away from others, from non-menstrual persons. So I thought, I did my soul searching, and I didn't talk to my children about this blood because of the centuries of conditioning that had made us to completely internalize the menstrual taboo and host very negative attitude that had not even been conscious. And yet, this important conversation was necessary to help my daughter be ready when that time of the month comes. I wanted to understand why the taboos, why the superstitions. I needed to understand, because you can't teach, you can't tell what you don't know. I did my research and discovered that they were not valid. They were not valid. All the theories, all the superstition, the menstrual taboo, all that was just superstition, taboos, false belief, nothing was valid. And yet, they all had very negative consequences on menstruators and those people around them. It was time to unlearn what I have learned and relearn in order to help my daughter, my children, and other teens understand what was going on in their bodies when they learn about the workings of the menstrual cycle. We learned together what menstruation was, what it was made of, why we bleed every month after hitting puberty, what to do or not to do when we are having our period. And we laughed very much about the old-fashioned attitudes we had grown up with, and this helped my daughter accept the changes that were happening to her body. It improved our troubled relationship as well. Indeed, the underlying resentment due to the feeling that my silence about menstruation and the changes in her body that she perceived as a rejection of her sexual self and femininity, and that she was expressing in her diary with very hard words about me, all that was gone. After we had this bond, we talked about all these important topics. My friends, I wouldn't want to go so far as to promise you that teaching your children about menstruation and the other physical changes of puberty will magically deliver them from the psychodramatics of puberty and automatically erase the tensions that often exist between parents and their adolescent children, because tension exists. And it is absolutely normal because your children are growing, they are changing, they are doubting, they are worrying, and they need some answers. But my experiences with my own children, and later as the educator of teens and preteens on puberty and sexuality, have convinced me that kids of this age need and want lots of information about what is happening to their body. And they also want a lot of reassurance that what is happening, that all the changes that they are experimenting in the body is absolutely normal, is perfectly normal. It has been my experience that kids are enormously grateful for such reassurance. When you do that with them, when you tell them that everything is normal, that nothing is wrong with them, they are very grateful. And they will thank you for having allayed some fear or doubt of theirs. Talking about this topic isn't an easy thing to do, I know. But it is possible if we are able to get past the embarrass barrier. Do it, sit down and harvest the sweet fruits of that action. You will get the trust and respect of your children. If you are there when they are worrying, you will be there when they are deciding, when they are making important, informed decisions in their lives. If you are there when they need you, then they will be very, very grateful for you because of what you have done for them, because you were there when they needed you. I am emphasizing puberty changes in this talk because of my understanding that, because of my understanding of the strong need for early puberty you and your child gain a greater understanding of the process of puberty, and that it will bring you closer together. Puberty, I think we all know. No. I can't say that because me too. Before starting this work and my research about this topic, I didn't know everything about puberty. So I can't say that we all know. But puberty is that time in your life when your body is changing from a child's body into an adult body. Our body goes through so many changes. Girls experience many changes. They grow taller, the shape of their body changes, the breast begin to blossom out of the chest and can swell. The hips and thighs get larger. They take more rounded and curvy shapes. The hair begins to grow between the legs and under the arms. They also grow pubic hair. Their skin begins to make new oils, which changes the smell. Yes, because we all have a smell. They produce their first ripe ovum, and they have their first period. They start having sexual desire, and they start to feel the need to seduce boys. Those are some of the changes that girls experience when they hit puberty. And if you don't know that it is puberty, then you can have terrible confrontation and tension with your children. You will get confused too. Boys too, when they hit puberty, there are so many changes that happen to their bodies. But some of those changes are similar to puberty in girls. They too change. They too grow pubic hair. Their genitals organs develop, and they begin to make sperm for the first time. And this can be very, very confusing. They begin to perspire more and are likely to get pimples. Their voice changes. The testicle and scrotum begin to develop. Their penis get larger and longer. Facial hair and muscle tissue grow. Their shoulder broaden. They start having sexual desire too. They have wet dreams when they are sleeping and frequent and unwanted erections. They need to go out to spend their energy. They start questioning almost everything and challenging their parents' authority. I am becoming someone. I'm becoming a person. I am not a child anymore. I want my freedom. I want to do this and that. And this can really, and it does, create tension between parents and children. All these changes can be and are really traumatic if children don't understand what is going on, if they don't get the help that they need to understand all the changes, and if someone is not there to let them know that this is what is happening is very normal. Don't bother, don't worry about those wet dreams, don't bother about those erections early in the morning when you are waking up, or don't bother about it because it is very normal. It means that you are growing normally, you are healthy, and there is nothing wrong with you. The changes are normal and you don't have to worry about it. If they don't have answers to the questions, if no one is there to reassure them that you are fine, it can be very traumatic. When those puberty happen, we are all different. There is no one size standard. It can start at 9, like my daughter. My daughter had her first period at 9. It can start at 9 or it can start at 40. It depends. We are all different and we have our own and single and unique constitution. It can happen, and it happens slowly and gradually. When you have your period, your first period at 9, it means that you hit puberty before, because it happens slowly and gradually, early, and it goes over a period of months and years. But no matter when it starts, I bet children will have lots of questions to ask, and we have to be there for them with the right answers, because if you don't give them good answers, they will find answers, especially today when we have access to all this technology, all this information, which is not always the right one. So to answer the question, when we don't know, if we don't know, it is very okay to let them know that, oh, you know what, me too, I don't know, let us learn together. If you don't know, you can learn together, and it will forge a powerful and very good bond between your children and you. The creations, we talked about it, we have this at During this time of the month, we have this blood coming out of our body, but do we really know where it's coming from, where it is coming from? What is it? What is it made of? What to do with it? Is it okay? Its color, is it okay? Is something wrong with the color? Is it too much blood that I'm having? Is it enough? What is my menstrual cycle? Is it too long? Is it too short? Why am I having all these cramps? Why are my breasts hurting? All these things happen, and children need answers, and we have to be there for them. Every month, as the ovary gets ready to release a ripe ovum, the uterus prepares itself. And if that egg is fertilized, it will plant itself in the uterus. And if everything goes well, after 9 months, the baby will be out. This is if the egg is fertilized. So, if it is not fertilized, that linen, that house, that nice linen, in the uterus that was there, that grew there in order to wait for a fertilized egg, it will not be needed anymore. So what's going to happen to that ovum and to that linen? They will disintegrate and get out of our body through the vaginal opening. And we call that liquid, that blood which is coming out of our body, we call it a period. And when a woman is experiencing that, we say that a woman is having her period. What to do when we have our period? Do we have the necessary information to manage it? What type of protection can we have? Today, we have so many types of protections that we can use to manage our period. What are the strategies that we use to stay clean and healthy when we are having our period? You can't answer these questions if you don't have the information. When you have information, the right information, you make an informed decision. You know that those the product exists, where to find them, and if you have means. I'm talking about means because not everyone is able to buy menstrual pad at the end of every month. Not everyone is able to buy it. And I seize this opportunity to inform, to invite, to ask parents that when you are getting ready, when you are buying stuff for your children to go back to school, do not forget to buy menstrual pad, because they are also school material. Without menstrual pad, your child will not go to school. She will not go to school because I don't know a person out there who will get out from the room with the blood flowing between the legs. That's not possible. So make sure that you equip your children not only with the pads, the right pads, because not all pads are okay for the child, for teens or for a grown-up woman. You have to think about it. You have to consider your health. You have to consider your wallet, because your wallet cannot allow you, if you cannot afford expensive pads, look for what you can afford, but make sure that you have it. So take into consideration your health, your wallet. Are you aware of our planet? Do you know that we all have to take care of our planet? Then in that case, you can embrace reusable menstrual pad. We have reusable menstrual pad, we have menstrual cups, we have menstrual panties, we have all kind of product that you can use to effectively manage our period. But if you don't provide your children with the parts that they need, they will find a way to get it. And here in the village where I'm living now, I am organizing menstrual workshop to talk to girls, because girls are exchanging pads for sex because they can't afford it. When the parents have already paid their school fees, they don't want to know about, they don't want anything else. They don't want to know about pads or things like that. They think that it is not important and The most important for them are school fees and then the uniform and things like that. But they forget that without pad, they can't go to school. Or they will go, but they will sleep with someone for pads. And they will get pregnant, and that will be very complicated. These are situations we see every day here in the village, in where we live, where we talk. We talk with girls who are pregnant, who have babies, and they tell you that, you know what, I went out with that, I slept with a man because he said that he would give me a pad, and I became pregnant. So parents, be there for your children, listen to them, give them the support that they need. Menstrual literacy is very important. No one should bleed without without pads, without the right information to manage the blood. It can be very, very traumatic. So, protection, I've talked about it. There are so many that are out there. We are making our own in Cameroon. We are making our own. We are making reusable menstrual, reusable pads, and we encourage everyone to embrace them because it is the way to go. It is good, it is soft, it is clean, it is chemical free, and it helps take care of our environment. It's very important to emphasize that. Which one to choose, I said it, depends on what you are looking for. Your health, take care of your health. Think about your health before choosing it. Think about your wallet before choosing it. Think about our planet before choosing it. There are so many things to consider when you are about to buy your pad. And if you don't have money to buy a pad every month, it is good to embrace reusable pad, because if you take good care of reusable menstrual pad, it can last between 3 and 5 years. You can even buy menstrual cups if you have money to do that, and you will be sure that for 10 years you will not have to buy pads anymore. Exercise. Eat well. Don't eat anything when you're having your period, because it can make you to suffer because of cramps. Avoid some kind of food. Avoid sugar. Avoid milk. Avoid tobacco. Make sure that you eat only what is going to help you, and drink a lot of water. This information we need to share with our children because it will be very helpful for them. It will help them manage and embrace and happily embrace the period. When you are suffering a lot because of your period, you hate your period, you hate your body, and things should not be like that. No one should be suffering because of your period. If you are not talking about period at home with your children, if they are suffering, they won't share the information with you, and yet they need to share that information with you so that you help your child get the attention and the support that they need to manage their period. And that is why it's very important to normalize the conversation about this very important fluid, because we are all here on this earth because a woman missed her period. That's why we are here. This is just to underline the importance of this period. We shouldn't be hiding it. We shouldn't be whispering about it. We shouldn't be hiding things about it. We should embrace it and celebrate it. Indeed, in some countries in this world, when a teen hits puberty and have their first period, they celebrate it. It is an event. They celebrate because, yes, you are not becoming a woman. And please stop telling teenagers who have their period for the first time that it means that they have become a woman. No, I couldn't. How can I tell my daughter who is 9 years old that
9 years
is a woman? You can't say that. She's still a child. She's just growing, and her body is getting ready to have a baby. But it doesn't mean that my daughter is a woman. And what is even awful about this is because in some places around the world, they even force the child to get married, because for them, you are ready to have a baby, and they cannot afford to let you become pregnant when you are not married, because that will be a disgrace for the family. And what to do? They just force you to get married. They marry you, which is awful, which is very, very awful, because they don't have the information. Because if you have the right information, you will tell your child who has just got the first period that now that you have hit puberty and you are having your period, be careful, because if you sleep with a boy not at the right moment, you will get pregnant. You are not going to just grab your child and marry her because you are afraid that they will get pregnant. No. And that's why information is very important. Let us learn, let us share, let us empower ourselves, and if we don't know, we learn. It is not something we should be ashamed of. We learn, we empower ourselves, and we are able, we are ready to help others, help our children and other teens outside there who are struggling because they don't have answers to so many things that are happening to their bodies. If we are not equipped with the right tools, we won't be able to help them and to help our children. They always ask me when to talk to our children about period and puberty. I say as soon as possible. The sooner, the better. The sooner, the better, because like I told you, my daughter got her period at 9. She was not ready. She was not ready. We needed to share the information with her before so that she is ready when the time that can was to happen. But we didn't. We talked about anything else, about sexuality, about birth, about so many things, but we forgot to talk about menstruation. And in schools, in many schools, they don't talk about it. They talk about reproduction, how to make babies, but no one tells you how to look after yourself when you are having your period. And that is terrible. That is terrible. And teachers, today I had a meeting, a workshop with teachers here in my village to talk about puberty and period, because I discovered when I was teaching that children, they are always girls, especially, they are always asking permission to go out of the classroom. And one girl will ask you permission about like 3 or 4 times to go out. If you don't know, if you don't think that maybe this child needs to go outside to change herself, to wash herself because she's having her period, you will say, no, you are disturbing, you are disrupting my class, you are not going out. And the child, if the child is not is the kind of child who cannot speak or who just obey, they will sit down and then they will have the blood and everything, the stain and everything on the dress. And you can't imagine what can happen if you have you have that blood on your dress, on your uniform, and your classmates are not aware of what is happening with you. They will mock you, they will insult you, they will humiliate you, and you will maybe end up killing yourself, like what happened a few years ago in Kenya, where a school girl, a pupil from elementary school, took her own life because she got her period in school. She shared the information with her teacher, and the lady, instead of reassuring her and telling her that no, everything is okay, you will be fine, there is nothing wrong with you, the lady humiliated her in front of the whole class, and the girl went back home and took her own life. So we need to know, we need to learn how to address this important topic. We can't shy away, we can't continue hiding, we can't continue whispering, we can't continue. No, that's not okay. Things are changing. Fortunately, things are changing. I'm happy, we are happy that things are changing, and we do all our best to continue to fight, to continue to advocate, to continue to ask our leaders, our government to do whatever they can, all that they can to help end period poverty, because we can't continue like this. We need to end period poverty and create a better world for menstruators too, because we don't choose bleed. We just bleed. Whether you are in prison, whether you are a displaced person, whether you just bleed, and you need support, you need attention, you need care, you need protection. It is very important. And if we don't talk about it, if we don't share what we know about this topic with many people who don't know, then things are not going to change. So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to share what I know with you. And I hope that this information that I've shared with you will help you to start the conversation if you are not already talking about it. It will help you keep the conversation going on if you are already talking about it. And together, nothing is too hard. Together, we will change the rules. This is what we like to say, we change the rules and build a better world for menstruators. Thank you very much.
Oh my God. Thank you so much, Mommy Celine. You said so many amazing things, and I've learned a lot, especially now that I'm a parent. It's really so amazing. Oh my God. Thank you so much for giving us all this value. It's going to help a lot of parents and a lot of things as well. It's literally saving lives.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
are most
Most of
welcome.
the
It
parents.
was the pleasure.
Okay.
The pleasure is mine. The pleasure is mine. The pleasure is mine. So yeah,
Uh,
thank you again. Thank you again.
Thank you. Most parents, most people that I always speak to about periods and menstruation, and even I myself, we're always saying that our first experience of of seeing our period, it was not really the best, because most people are always just surprised on that day. I mean, our parents, like, they didn't tell us anything, and they just assume that we just know like that, or they assume that maybe we'll come and tell them, but that's not always the case. I mean, most teenagers and most women I always speak to, they always complain of that fact, and they're like, why do our parents not tell us these things? Like, what is making them to shy away from telling their own daughters? Like,
But
allowing us to just go to, yeah,
like I said, you can't tell what you don't know. You can't
yeah,
tell what you don't know. I remember I I don't remember my mom talking about this critical topic with me or with my other sisters. We try we try to ask questions, but she was not ready to talk about it. She didn't get mad, but my grandmother got mad when my junior one of my junior sister asked her about the blood. She went on vacation and she was living with my grandmother, and she got her period and she asked my grandmother, "What is it? Why do we why do we bleed?" And then my grandmother, she became mad and chased her away. So you understand? And she had to go and just manage. During that time, she was with her. And then when she went back to my parents, she went to my dad. My dad is the one who talked about period with me, my dad. And my dad is the one who also took me to the hospital when my period was very irregular, because I used to have very, very irregular period. I will have my period this month, and then I will have to wait like 2 or 3 months before having my period again. So I shared the information with my dad, and he took me to the hospital, and they gave me pills to normalize my period. My dad did that. And I'm not talking about, I am 53 years now, and I'm talking about when I was 12 years old. So that is why it is important to involve men in this topic. We can't end period poverty without our men. They need to be there. They need to fight with us. They need to be there because they need to understand what is going on. When they understand, if they understand what is going on in our bodies, they will be better equipped to help us and to give us the attention that we need and the support that we need. So you can't talk about what you don't know. I'm talking about this topic now because I learned a lot about it. I cannot just guess. I cannot, no, you have to be equipped. You have to understand the process, understand what is going on to be able to share. Our mom, I am not mad with my mom because I think she was not ready, and she even didn't know. I think she didn't know what to say about it because she didn't know. She knew that yes, we women bleed. Women bleed, and what she could do was to just give you what they used to have at that moment. That, I mean, a rag piece, a rag to just fold and then protect yourself. That's what they were using, and that's what my mom did with my other sisters. With me, and we never talked about it. We never talked about it. Even today. We never talked about it. So, and
Wow.
I am writing a book about this topic, a book about I ask inspiring women to share their first experience about period in the book, to reassure teenagers that you are okay. If you bleed, you will bleed. If you are not bleeding, you will bleed. But know that it is a normal bodily function, and you have to do this and that. Even the first ladies, they bleed. Every woman bleeds, and you stop bleeding when you hit menopause. You start bleeding. You can start bleeding at any time, 9 years old, 10 years old. So the book is about that, to let them know that yes, it is a normal thing. Every woman bleeds, and you don't have to worry about it. But all the women that have shared their experience with me for the book, they almost say the same thing. They say, I didn't know, I was not ready. I didn't know what was going on. I thought I was sick and that I was going to die. I didn't know who to talk to. I didn't know who to talk to. I cry. I didn't. The same thing. They say the same thing. Almost all the ladies who share
Yeah.
the experience, they say the same thing. So there is a gap there. There is a gap there. There is a need. And when you ask them, so what do you think parents, governments, and tutors, educators should do to close this gap? They all say they should talk about period and puberty before the children hit puberty, because it's very important. They need to know, because when you know, you are not stressed, you are not scared, you are not worried, you make informed decision, you don't panic. And this is all about it. To talk,
Yeah.
to talk, to talk, to go to schools and talk, to go to churches and talk, to talk at home when you are eating, when you are having dinner, because it shouldn't be something to be ashamed of. It shouldn't be something to hide. It shouldn't be. We should be able to talk about period like we are talking about. I don't know,
AI.
other fluid that we have. Yes, it should be something normal that if, for example, if you are having your period, you say, I have my period. You don't hide and say, like we say in French, we use so many words to talk about period just because we don't want to call that name. We don't want to pronounce that name. So that is why we are using we have like a dictionary with all the expressions, so many words to talk about. You will say the British have come because the British, the army in Great Britain, they wear a red uniform. They will say that, oh, I'm having. So they say so many things. No, let us just call the cat a cat. It all starts, we have to start from there. We don't have to use all different kind of names to talk about period. Let us just say period. I have my period, and this will help. And we should explain to our children the importance of the blood, because of that blood, because of that period, we are on this earth. It is very important. They should know that. And this will also help them to build a safe and positive relationship with their bodies. They will not hide in big pullovers because they don't want people to see their breasts that are growing. They should not. No, they should accept their bodies, and they should celebrate happily celebrate the changing bodies. But if they don't have the information, if they don't have that reassurance, then it will continue to be a problem. You will continue to think that they are going to die, they are sick, something is wrong with them, they cut themselves somewhere, and then no. It is all about that.
Yeah. Thank you so much for answering that. You know, when I checked on your LinkedIn profile and I saw the images of those reusable pads, I was just like, wow, those were really
You
beautiful
saw the
and nice.
images?
Yes, beautiful
Yes, we
and
make them.
nice.
We make
Oh, you
we
do it
make them here
yourself.
in the village. We
Wow,
have the
that's
workshop. Our
great.
workshop is here in the village. We make them. They are very beautiful, very very beautiful. The pads, and they are very
Wow.
effective. They are chemical free. They are extra soft. They are good. They are comfortable. They don't. How do you say that in English? You are not afraid of having stains on your dress because
Your
they are
dress.
made not to let, yes, not to let the fluid pass. So they are very good, very good. And when you buy them once, and if and take good care of the pad, you can have them for 3 or 5 years. You don't have to worry again about
Mhm.
pads. You don't have to say, oh, what am I going to, how am I going to do? I don't have money to buy my pads this end
Yeah.
of month. No, no. You are okay. You are okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And how can someone get it? Do you have an online store? Maybe someone's watching.
Oh, I don't get
Or
I
they need
don't
to
get you.
contact you on your LinkedIn profile.
I didn't get you.
Okay, so I'm asking how can somebody that is watching you right now get the reusable parts if they really want it? Should they contact you through your LinkedIn profile or you have a online store?
How can someone who is watching the live now get the products? That's what you
Yeah.
said?
Ye- yes, yes.
Okay, I yes, they can write to me, or they can call my phone. I have a phone number, because
Mhm.
we haven't started selling the parts, because we were expecting our certification from ANO. We got the certification 2 weeks ago, so we will start
Wow.
selling the parts now. And we have a phone, a WhatsApp that we can use, that they can use to buy, to make orders. And we are also looking for partners who are willing to work with us in the different cities of the country. So
Mhm.
if someone is willing, if we invite those who will be interested in fighting period poverty, because we sell the
Poverty.
parts, because we want to continue making the parts, because we want to
Yeah.
pay the ladies who are working, who are making the parts, because we want to be able to pay the electricity bill, because we want to, that's why we are selling the part. We are not selling the part to make money. No, we are selling the part because of those reasons. So it is important that we know that, because it is a project, it's not a business, it's a project that we are implementing. And we are looking for partners who are willing to just to join, and then to support us in this fight against poverty. So there is a phone number, I can share it if on our website, on our, no, no, not on our website, on our Facebook page, also in my LinkedIn account. I always share the information. I always share the phone and the email address where they can contact us. And on the website of the organization, there is a PayPal account there where they can buy, where they can, I mean, there is information on our website, and in many other accounts that we are using, where they can contact us, and we talk about how to buy, how to collaborate, how to partner. So all the information is available. And now that we are going to start selling the pads, we are going to improve. We are going to improve the website and improve the ways and find the correct ways that people can use to get in touch with us without struggling. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mommy Celine Sika.
Uh,
So, dear listeners, dear viewers, you can go and find her on LinkedIn and on Facebook as well. So, if you want to contact her, her accounts are just there waiting for you. Okay. So, thank you so much, Mommy. We are going to end this session today, and it has been a pleasure. I'm so happy, and I'm sure that every parent that will be watching this, maybe in the replay or during the live, will know that, oh my God, this is so much valuable. Like every parent needs to watch this. Okay, we're going to share the link so that more and more parents can watch this live.
Thank you so much. It was my pleasure talking to you, talking with you, and sharing my passion for this topic. Thank you for making it possible, and thank you for. We need more talks like this, not only online. It should be very interesting too to meet children, parents face to face and talk, because you see their body language, they can ask questions, you share, you interact. That is possible now that the COVID is not here anymore. So we can go back to that kind of event. Even knowing that, yes, what we have just done is wonderful, because thanks to the COVID, we knew that now we know that we can talk online, we can organize things online and do what we are just doing. So this too is very important. But the face to face, you look at me, you are in front of me, you look at me, you see me, I see you, and then we talk. This one too is still is very important, and I look forward to doing that. I don't know, maybe in Douala, if we can organize this in Douala, like I'm doing it here in
That
my
would be great.
village, in the community, in the region. That would be wonderful. So just we can make it
Yeah,
possible. We just
wonderful.
organize it and call and advertise and then meet, let people come, we sit and talk. Because children, our children, they need to
Yeah,
talk. They need to
yeah,
they
yeah.
need answers to the questions, to the many questions. So thank you so much for making it possible, and thank you for what you are doing. Keep it up, and together, like I like saying, nothing is too hard.
Thank you. Bye.
You're welcome. Bye. Bye.
So, parents, gift handlers, we've come to the end of this edition. So, if you like this video, just give a thumbs up, okay? And please subscribe, okay, for more content like this. And leave a comment for us to know your thoughts about this topic, okay? So, we are in the moment or in the times where parents need to normalize speaking about puberty, speaking about periods with their children, okay? So, please, parents, don't fail on this, because our children are counting on us, and we don't want to leave them all there confused on what to do, and actually lead them to go for the wrong information. Okay, so we the parents, we need to create that atmosphere, that environment where our children feel open to talk about all these things to us, and we get to build that good bond, strong relationship with them, that good connection with them. And that's all what conscious parenting is all about. So thank you so much. See you in our next video. I am Mai Konde, here to inspire parenting.